Hey, what's up guys, so Mine here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to get the desired socketed colors on your items in PathofExile. This mechanic can be really confusing and tricky if you're maybe new to the game or coming from PathofExile 2. But don't worry, I'll do my best to explain it quickly here. So in PathofExile 1, how it works is dexterity equals green sockets, intelligence equals blue sockets, and strength equals predominantly red sockets. So what that means is if an item, so for example, if we take this bow here, this item has a 212 dexterity requirement. And again, we said dexterity equals green, right? So when I use a chromatic orb on this item, these sockets are predominantly going to change to all green sockets. Again, you might get an off color here and there, but to get like the desired colors you want, let's say, for example, you're playing a bow build and you need 2 red, 2 blue, and 2 green sockets. Just using a single chromatic orb like this is going to be a fever dream. You're going to take a really, really long time to hit that, unfortunately. So instead of using a single chromatic orb, there actually is a crafting bench recipe for coloring your sockets. So let's say if you want to guarantee at least 2 red sockets, you can click this recipe. It costs you more chromatic orbs than just a single one. And you just hit craft, and it's going to guarantee at least 2 red sockets. In this case, we got pretty lucky here. We got an additional red socket, and we got an additional blue socket, and we have 2 green. So this is like a pretty good outcome. But not exactly what we're looking for, unfortunately, because again, I mentioned if you're playing a bow build of some kind and you want 2 red, 2 green, and 2 blue. So in this case, we got 3 red and only 1 blue. So like, again, you can go through these recipes yourself, but there is a better way to kind of deterministically figure out which one of these recipes is best to use. If you go to Google and just type in Vorici Chrome calculator, I'll have a link to this in the description also, you'll arrive at this website. Basically, this person has done the math and kind of calculated everything based on what we know about PathofExile. And basically, you just enter in your item stats. So for example, we have a bow here. It has 6 sockets. Our bow has a dex requirement of 212. Again, right here, it says 212 dex requirements. So you just type that in here. If it had a hybrid requirement, you would type in the appropriate numbers in like the other stats based on whatever item you're using, right? And the desired colors we want. So again, I mentioned, let's say you're playing a bow build and you want 2 red, 2 green, and 2 blue, and then you're just going to hit calculate. And what this is going to do is it's going to highlight in green the best odds for you to get the desired colors, essentially. So it says Vorici 1 red, 1 blue. So instead of Vorici, it just means, when it says Vorici, it just means the crafting bench. So don't let that confuse you. So in the crafting bench, let's find the 1 red and 1 blue socket recipe. And then all we're going to do is just hit craft. And again, the standard deviation for this average attempts is 23. So we're going to have to click it at least 23 times. And the cost per try is 15. So this can get expensive pretty fast. But I guarantee you, if you try to do it with a regular chromatic orb, it's going to take you on average way more attempts. And again, you can see the average cost of this attempt is only going to be around 350. Again, you can get super unlucky. The standard deviation is 22. So you can take an additional 22 attempts if you're like super unlucky. Even if you're unluckier than that, it can take a lot more. But for the most part, you're going to hit in 22, 24 attempts. Again, we're looking for 2 green, 2 red, and 2 blue. So again, I'm just clicking craft here over and over until we get the desired sockets. And again, that didn't even take me 10 attempts. And I got 2 red, 2 blue, and 2 green, and that's basically your finished product right there. And again, what I just did with the bow here, you can apply this to any other item. So for example, if you were any other 6 socket item, so again, if you have a weapon or a chest piece, let's say you're trying to get like 3 red, 2 blue, and 1 green on this. So what you would do is just type in 82 dex and 82 int into the Vorici calculator. So 82 dex and 82 int, and remove that. And then let's say you're trying to get, let's say 3 red, 2 green, and 1 blue, which total equals 6 sockets, and we're going to hit calculate. So it's saying crafting bench, at least 1 red socket recipe is going to be the best to spam in order to get your desired colors. The average attempts is 36, and it's 4 chromatic orbs per try. And again, you can apply this to any item. Another cool trick I'm going to show you guys is the socketing trick to get the desired colors you want. And this is a very useful trick. This can be used for boots, gloves, helmets, anything that has 4 maximum sockets. So basically how this works is, since this item has a really high int requirement, and let's say if I want three red sockets and 1 green socket on this item, right? If I use a chromatic orb on this, I'm going to be doing this for literally a million years. If you go to the Vorici Chrome calculator, let's say if you type in 177 int here, so let me kind of delete everything here, type in 177 int, and let's say if I want three red and 1 green socket and no blue socket, and it has a total number of 4 sockets, I'm gonna hit calculate. It's gonna cost you on average if you use a single chromatic orb at a time, it's gonna cost you on average 6,210 attempts. And that's insane, guys. I mean, you don't want to click 6,210 times. Even if you use the crafting bench recipe, the crafting at least 2 red sockets and 1 green socket, it's going to cost you on average 1,372 chromatic orbs, and cost per try is 100 chromatic orbs, and average attempts is 13. So this is going to be super expensive. Like, it's going to be like multiple divine orbs, but with this trick I can show you how to get it a lot easier. So let's say we want 3 red and 1 green on a base that has a really high int requirement, for example these boosts. So first, what you do, step number 1, set it to 2 sockets, use a crafting bench recipe, just set it to 2 sockets, and then what you're going to do from here is go down to the at least 2 red sockets, because we're looking for 3 red and 1 green in this example, but again it could be whatever colors you want. Just say craft. So now we're guaranteeing 2 red sockets here, and the way this crafting recipe works, if I add in 3 sockets, it's always going to add the bottom right corner socket. In this attempt we got super lucky, and we got it on the first try. But again, if you didn't get it on the first try, you can just go back to 2 sockets. And again, it preserves your previous socket colors. That's basically the trick. And just go to 3 sockets again. And we got super lucky again. And we got red again. But again, if you don't get lucky, just do it a few times. And in this case, we got green right here. You wanna either get red or green. It doesn't matter. We wanted 3 red and 1 green. So you could have kept that green for that example. But I just wanted to show an example where if you didn't get it, all you do is just hop back and forth until you get that desired 3rd socket color you want. So in our case, it's either red or green. Again, I got super lucky in the first few attempts there, so that's why I kind of wanted to do this again to kind of show you it can be a little painful, but it's not going to be 6,210 chromatic orbs painful, and it's not even going to be 1,372 chromatic orbs painful, like for sure, dude. So, you know, this is pretty ethical way to do this. Not a lot of people know about this trick anymore. I feel like it's kind of been like lost to time, and I feel like newer players probably have no idea this trick exists because nobody really talks about it anymore, but here I am talking about it. And again, guys, I stream live on Twitch every day, twitch.tv/nominds. You know, hit that like and subscribe button for the YouTube algorithm if this video has helped you out at all. And again, we did get the 3rd socket right there. Again, I'm looking for, let's say for this example, we're looking for 3 red and 1 green, right? So we got the green socket right there. And then once we have the 3rd socket secured, we just start using the 4 socket recipe. So I'm looking for at least a red here, right? In our example, we want the 4th socket to be red. So again, if I don't get it on the first try, just go back to the 3 sockets. And again, if you go back to 3 sockets, as long as you don't click 2 sockets, it's going to preserve like the colors of like all the previous sockets basically. So again, you just keep doing this until you get red. And again, this can be a little expensive. Again, it costs you like 13 jewel orbs per rotation here. But again, it is a lot cheaper in the long run than using chromatic orb recipes. I promise you that. And again, this is a really good trick that works for 4 socket items. Not necessarily more, this is not efficient to do like on 6 sinks or anything like that. But as long as your item has a, like, again, it's only best for like boots, gloves, and helmets. You could apply the same concept to wands and like, you know, single-handed weapons and shields. Again, the same concept applies. Instead of going up to 4 sockets, you can just hop between 2 and 3 sockets. And again, it's a really easy way to color one-handed like shields and weapons and everything like that. And finally, we did get a off color, but unfortunately it's a green. You just keep going basically until you hit red. And again, on the next attempt, we did hit the red socket. So again, we have the desired colors now. 3 red and 1 green, and you can just like use a fusing link recipe. Again, I'll have a video talking about how to link your sockets. That's another video. And again, now we have a base that has 3 red and 1 green socket, and it's a predominantly int base. And again, using the power of jeweler orbs and the socketed bench crafting recipe, we have a high int base, which if you use a chromatic orb on it, it's going to roll predominantly blue colors. We have 3 reds and 1 green, which are just basically all off colors for the space. And again, if I use a chromatic orb on it, I can just kind of reset it. And again, as you can see here, it predominantly will roll always blue sockets. You might get like 2 off colors if you're super lucky, but just as it is such a high int requirement, it's going to take you on average 6,200 chromatic orbs to get the 3 red and 1 blue outcome. But we did it in a few minutes without clicking 6,000 times with the power of jeweler orbs and the socketing bench recipe. And I know I'm going to get this question in the comments, like what if your item was corrupted? It doesn't matter if it's corrupted or not. The only thing that's going to be added with the corruption cost, so if you do like a 3 socket recipe, it's going to cost you 3 jeweler orbs and 3 vol orbs, right? And I can demonstrate that right now. Let me just go ahead and corrupt this item here in live for you guys. So now this item is corrupted, but you can just see here, since the item is now voled, now on top of like the jeweler orbs cost for the socketing recipe, you also have a vol orb cost. So that's basically the only difference. Again, if you have enough currency, you can basically keep going back and forth with this. It doesn't really matter. And so guys, the last thing I want to talk about is the omen of blanching. Basically, it says it will be consumed while it's in your inventory. And when you use a chromatic orb on an item, it's going to make between 1 and 3 sockets white, basically. So let me demonstrate this. Again, these are pretty expensive omens. I bought these for 5 divines each. I bought 3 of these just for the demonstration, for demonstrating it to you guys. So basically, this is how it works. So again, we got 3 white sockets there. We got super lucky there. And again, let's use it on another item. We only got 1 socket there. And then if you use it on another item, we only got 1 socket there. So again, it's pretty expensive to do it this way. But if you ever find one in Solo Self-Found and desperately need like that off color, this might be a good option for you too. And I think that basically covers it. So let's say, for example, though, if you don't have ball orbs or if you don't have like jeweler orbs and you have a corrupted item and you need to still color the sockets, you could also use a tainted chromatic orb, which says unpredictably reforges the color of sockets on a corrupted item. And again, if you use it on here once, this is basically a chromatic orb for corrupted items, essentially. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm live on Twitch every day. I will be playing Lead Start every day. Twitch.tv/NoMinds. You know, join our Discord, all that good stuff. Links are all in the description, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Hope you have a good League Start. Peace out.